So, for you guys that are watching this, once I've edited it, I am live streaming this video the whole time. So I'll mostly, I don't know where I'm gonna look. If I look at the live stream, if I'm gonna look at the camera, just can't decide. But if I'm not looking at you up there at the camera, I'm just looking at the live stream, not ignoring you. So look, today I promised I would do a live stream and show everyone how to do their first ferment. But first, why? Why am I taking all of my time and setting up, we'll do a behind the scenes picture. Why am I setting up all this shit and doing all this stuff to show you how to do your first ferment? And it's because fermenting foods is how humans have always preserved their food. Before we had refrigeration or anything else like that, we fermented. And it's a skill that's being totally lost on our entire culture. And now you're starting to see a lot of work and talk about the microbiome, right? And so people are starting to take probiotics and prebiotics and all of these manufactured chemical shitstorms to try to get fermented foods, which is to try to get probiotics and prebiotics, which is crazy because all those are bacteria. See, when they make a pre or probiotic, they pick like 4 or 5 bacterial strains, powder them, and put them into a, like, you don't know if they're the right strains for you. You don't know if they're active, if they're going to have an effect on you. The best bacteria that you should have are bacteria that are from your immediate surrounding and your area, right? How do you do that? You make fermented foods, but people think that it's really scary, or people think that this really tastes gross. Because in our Western society, well, mostly just Canada and the United States, because most of the rest of the world eats a lot of fermented foods, we think it's gross, and we think kimchi, we think sauerkraut, and those things are really fucking delicious. But they take time and they take prep work. But actually doing ferments is so easy, it will blow your mind if you do the right one. So I want to start you with an easy ferment that you can do because it's so important. These fermented foods take the bacteria around us, ferment the foods, they taste delicious and sour and awesome, and then you eat them, and that takes care of your gut microbiome, right? So if you cut chemical shit out of your life and add in some fermented foods, you don't need probiotics or prebiotics or any of that shit that really, I don't believe, works very well, right? This is how we do it. So today, we're gonna do carrots. Because when I've discovered fermenting, I discovered that, like, I did the hard ones first. I made sauerkraut and kimchi. Don't get me wrong, not hard, time consuming, and you gotta think a little bit, which a lot of people don't necessarily want to do. But then afterwards, I've discovered fermenting vegetables, and they're so easy. It's so easy to make fermented vegetables. We're gonna do carrots. So if you like pickles, you'll like fermented and carrots. You'll like carrots. So look, carrot, right? You're gonna need carrots. Today I'm gonna do a little flavor in mine because I have made a lot already. We're gonna add some ginger today. I'm gonna show you how to flavor these ferments too. I like Coach Taylor Kitchen. Whitney's in the other room. This is fun. She doesn't like to talk on camera. What are the other things you're going to need? You're going to need water. I have a bowl of it here because you can't use tap water for most people. If there's chlorine in the water, it will kill the bacteria. So you have to have filtered water. Ideally just the chlorine out of it because the minerals and everything in regular water are good. So you'll need that. I use big mason jars, tall ones. You might use smaller ones, right? Regular. And you'll see the top, I got wide mouth and small mouth. Wide mouth are better if you really get into this stuff. So you're going to need mason jars with lids that you can seal. You're going to need your carrots. I'm going to use my ginger, water, and the other thing, the key ingredient, is salt, right? So look, you're going to hear people talk about making brines and all of these types of things. You don't have to get too crazy into it. So I have actually weighed out my carrots. See, I have a little fancy scale, right? You put in a bowl. So I've weighed the carrots and then weighed the salt. So we're going to do a 3% brine solution. I'm saying this, but I don't want you to freak out about a 3% brine solution. Look, I'm going to have enough carrots to stuff it in this jar, and it's going to be about a tablespoon and a half of salt. That's it. If you're a little bit high, a little bit low, it doesn't really matter. If you go too high, you're going to have some salty fucking carrots. So you might not want to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to make fermented carrots. So I've already done some preparatory work. See, I've already peeled my carrots and I've already sliced most of them. But if you don't know how to cut a carrot, right? Peeled carrot. For you guys watching this later on my edited video, I'm just showing the live stream, right? That's a peeled carrot right there. Look, you take your knife, hold it properly, which I really don't. Cut your carrots in whatever size sticks you want. Other people do the rounds, right? So you can actually cut this into rounds. I like sticks because sticks are better. Cut. This is how complicated fermenting is. In fact, I was taking my sweet ass fucking time this morning prepping for this, and I did all this prep work, the weighing, the measuring, most of the cutting, in less than 10 minutes, right? Now, I've already pre-done some ginger. We're just gonna make ginger slices. You don't have to get crazy with this. It just has to be pieces. If you have a whole piece of ginger, people spend so much time peeling shit. Fuck that. Fuck that. Look, cut off the skin. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You're fermenting. Boom. That's how quickly I prepped that ginger. How fucking hard was that? Do you guys know Thug Kitchen? Watch Thug Kitchen. Thug Kitchen's awesome. So now I've got my carrots, I've got my ginger, my water, my salt, and my jar. This is where it's going to get really fucking complicated. Are you ready for this? Ginger pieces. Drop them into the bottom. Carrots. We're going to take these carrots here, we're going to stuff them in. So when we talk about, well, I'll talk about that in a second. Look, I'm just stuffing the carrots into the jar. Now, I didn't do a good job of getting these all kind of like the right weight, or size, sorry, because I just didn't fucking care this morning, to tell you the truth. Right? We're just going to pack them in there. This is getting complicated, right? Like you can see how complicated this is. Stuff all my carrots in there. See, this one's too long. Now it's not. How hard was that? Done. 2 more. Because I'm breaking that one again. Stuff it down. So you kind of want them all roughly the same. Look at that. Now I got carrots in a jar, right? I've measured out my salt. Salt, carrots. Look, I'm just going to pour it in. And it's nice. This is a nice sea salt. This is a nice sea salt. Pour it in. Boom. Salt's in. Shake. Mix it around. We're going to get more complicated. So now we add water. This is what's going to make the brine. We're going to pour in water. And this is kind of the entire key with fermenting right here. See the water come up? And now it's over the carrot. The key to healthy fermenting and not getting molds and bad shit in there is the brine, the water, has to totally cover the vegetables. They all have to be underneath that. Anything sticking above gets susceptible to mold. Now look, see? See the brine is above the carrots? I'm gonna have to pour some of that out, but we'll show you why in a second, right? The brine is above the carrots. So here's something that I've invested in and I think it's a good idea. These are fermenting weights. So when you do carrots or cabbage and kimchi and things like that, you have to like pack this stuff down, keep it under the brine. These little weights are just a handy way of doing that. See, but I'm going to overflow. So I put that weight on. Now carrots, this is what makes them so easy. They're packed in there so tight, they're not going to float up to the surface, right? They're not coming up, they're packed in. But other thing, let me show you something. Other things, like this, which is fermented asparaguses, fermented green beans, right? Now these ones, you can see the brine isn't quite there. They're already fermented. They're sitting in my fridge staying cool. Those can tend to float and not pack down. So in that case, little weights are handy. A lot of people will use a plastic bag, fill a plastic Ziploc bag with water and put it on there and that will hold shit down. I just don't want plastic in my ferments. So look, now we've added the weight, the water, the salt, and the carrots. Next phase. Lid. Tighten. Your first ferment is complete. So now what do you do? From here, I label it. Because this old man brain of mine, I don't remember shit. So I just take a little piece of masking tape. What's the date today? April 7th? 8th? Whit, do you know?
7th.
Today is April 7th. Marker, tape, April 7th. Boom. First ferment is done. That's how you ferment carrots. Now, that's going to take probably anywhere from 5 to 7 days. How do you know when your ferment's done? You try it. If it's sour enough for you, good. That's done, right? But I have something else to show you. These are my most recent ferments. So, like any good cooking show, oh look, it's been 7 days. And now we have finished fermented carrots. So these ones are garlic ginger with black pepper, garlic ginger with coriander seeds. I don't know if you guys can see up there. See that lid? How it popped up it is? When you guys see that? There it is. See that lid? So these are fermenting. Fermenting creates gases. When I open this, there's a chance it's going to explode. But I want you to be able to see what happens when we open these up. Listen. You see that? See all those bubbles coming up and it's overflowing? This is probably a little bit over fermented. That's all those bacteria that have done the fermenting, right? So you see it, oh yeah. Oh fuck man, Whitney, you're gonna like these. These smell good.
Nice.
Oh, she talked. Right? So that's what it looks like. So these have been 1 week. I put these together last Sunday. This is Sunday. And that's what it looks like. And probably this one's gonna do, hang on, I'm gonna grab some paper towel. Because that is making a mess. Oh man, it smells so good, you have no idea. I can't sample them for you because I'm fasting still, right? But look at that, look at the bubbles coming up on that. See that? That's all the lactobacteria, right? They've done their job, they fermented this up. Tonight, these are gonna be so delicious. I often have these as part of my nighttime snack. Also, anyone that has questions on the live feed, send them my way. Look, let's open up this next one. Same thing. Oh, this one's really gonna go. You start to get a feel for when they're gonna explode on you. Kombucha will really fucking, like, it'll blow up. There we go. Look at that. Oh, that one smells good too. Oh man, these are gonna be the best flavors of all time. Okay? Look, I've already taught you how to make fermented carrots. So then you just let that sit. So here's the one we did today. Just let that sit on the counter for 7 days. Done. Then you eat them. Then, hang on here. This was the last ferment and the carrots we already made. So see, that's what's left, right? We've eaten the carrots. There's that brine left. That is carrot-flavored, bacteria-filled water. Take a shot of that every day. Don't throw that out. That is like, you'll see gut shots. Like people are making these fermented gut shots. That's all it is. It's the leftover water, right? There's so much health. Fucking free probiotics. You barely have to pay for that shit. And so now every day you get a little shot glass, and instead of taking shots of vodka, which do nothing good for you, take a shot or two of this. A lot of people drink pickle juice. One of my clients told me the other day she drinks pickle juice. A lot of people do. This is tasty as and better for you. Better for you. Oh, good question, Kayla Clark, who happens to be my sister that's watching my live stream. Once it's done fermenting, right, they go into the fridge. If you leave it out in the warm air, I should say that, when you ferment that, put it out, leave it out on your counter. It's got to stay somewhere relatively warm. Once the ferment's done, now I've opened these and the fermenting process is done, they go into the fridge. That slows the bacteria down so it doesn't really continue to ferment fast. And these will last in your fridge from well, you're going to like them and eat them. They're probably going to last a couple of days. But they will last up to, I've seen people say like 3 to 6 months. I don't know why you'd keep them for 3 to 6 months. They're too delicious. You're not going to want to do that, right? Yeah, so we're talking about how long do you ferment different things. Everything has kind of like a different length depending on the type of vegetable. Some things ferment really quickly, other things ferment really slowly. And then it comes down to personal tastes and what you like, right? If you let them ferment too long, they'll eventually go mushy and lose their crispiness. And then there's this is why I'm starting you with carrots, because each vegetable has its own unique thing, but you learn it really quick. You can add grape leaves in there for things like pickles. You want to make pickles? little baby cucumbers, stick them in a jar with the salt and the water, some dill, fill it up, put a grape leaf in there, and you'll get pickles, fermented. Vanessa, they are going to be amazing. So yeah, they're super fucking delicious. And yeah, keep them on the counter, then in the fridge, keep them there. They won't last long enough for you to have to worry about it. Other questions? Cody, good luck with sourdough. Let me know how that goes because, fuck man, sourdough killed me. Should the jars be burped? I do not burp these vegetable ferments. If you want to get really crazy, I bought a whole bunch of fermenting kits. You can get lids like this, right? They have a little hole in the top, or you get a real fermenting crock. And that now sits on the jar, right? You put that little guy on there, it's silicone, right? And that should let some of the gas out. I used them on a couple ferments, didn't like them. For these vegetable ferments, they're all 3 days to 5 or 6 days. In these good quality rounded glass jars, no, I don't burp those because I just don't think that, I don't think it's necessary. For anyone, I do a lot of kombucha. I've got 25 liters of kombucha going. I also, because I'm fermenting all the time, because this shit's so good for you. Here's my water kefir, right? That's fermenting. That one takes, you gotta do it every day. And you're probably not gonna wanna do that. Also do milk kefir, all sorts of shit. Once you get doing it, it just becomes so easy, right? Things like water kefir and kombucha, when you do a second ferment of those to flavor them, you can build up a ton of pressure. So lots of people will burp those things. If I do a big sauerkraut or a kimchi, because I'll use huge jars for that, and seal them, I will burp those every couple days. If you guys don't know what burping means, it just means as it's fermenting, you just open the lid a little bit, seal, let the pressure out, let some of the gas pressure out, and then seal it back up. That's what burping means. Because if there's too much pressure, I've seen some horror stories of kombucha. Actually, someone just posted in one of the groups I'm in last night, one of their kombucha jars fucking exploded and impaled shards of glass in a wall 10 feet away. You don't want to do that. But that, like those liquids, those drinks will really get pressure up. With your kimchis and sauerkrauts, those jars, you might burp them a little bit. It won't hurt to burp them. It doesn't hurt, right? Beth tried to make sauerkraut and it smelled like ass after 7 days. I don't know. Sometimes ferments don't smell good. I wouldn't base necessarily the smell of it on, like, if it smells off, not just like bad and sour, check that, but look for mold and discoloration. If your sauerkraut turns a weird color or gets mold, then I'd worry about it a little bit more. But also 7 days for sauerkraut's not much, right? Traditional sauerkraut, Eastern Europe, they'll let that shit ferment for like 4 to 8 months. Most of my krauts I've done are 3 to 4 weeks. So after 7 days, I wouldn't necessarily worry about it too much. Let it keep going. Watch for molds and discolorations. After that, I love that so many people are doing fermenting. I want to get everybody doing this stuff. If you got more questions, fire them now, because I'm just about done. It's like 20 some minutes. That should be a good time. So that's how you do carrots. Now look, if you want to learn more stuff, there's a shit ton of books and resources out there. Sandor Katz is kind of like the guy that's brought fermenting back. His book, The Art of Fermentation, is really good. I can't remember the name of his other book. Those books are a little bit more esoteric. They're not how-tos. I have, however, found a book that I think everybody should get. It's this book, Ferment for Good, by Sharon Flint. This is not a paid advertisement. I get no money for this. I just read this book all the time. See, I got my little string in there. What am I doing next? Oh yeah, fermented corn on the cob. Look at that. Beauty, right? That's a great book. Sharon Flynn, Ferment for Good, Australian, has done work with Sandor Katz, does a lot of Asian ferments, krauts, kimchis, and pickles and all sorts of stuff. But that's how you do it. So, your mission is to do some carrot ferments. It only takes 5 to 7 days. They're really delicious, and you couldn't have anything better. It's just so good for you. Hope that helps. I hope you make it. If you make some of these things, please take a picture, take a little video, send it my way, let me see. If you come up with new flavors, right? I got garlic, ginger, black pepper, and this garlic, ginger, coriander. Try new flavors, try new things out, send it my way, give me ideas. I love sharing all this stuff with everybody. That's how you do the ferments, and that is the first episode of maybe one of one, I don't know, of Coach Taylor's Kitchen, fermenting carrots. Have a great day.